Pastel de nata. This pastry exists because monks needed starched robes. In the 1800s, Lisbon's monasteries used egg whites to stiffen their habits. The leftover yolks had no destination. They went into pastry, a small custard tart with a crisp shell baked at extreme heat until the surface blistered and darkened at the edges. The recipe remained locked inside Geronimo's monastery for decades. In 1834, the liberal revolution closed the monasteries. The secret passed to the owners of a local sugar refinery. They opened a shop in Belém in 1837. That shop is still open today. The original formula has never been published and is known to only a few people at any given time. The monastery was shut down. The tart was not.
Croissant. Legend ties it to the 1683 siege of Vienna. Bakers supposedly shaped a dense roll after the Ottoman crescent, the enemy's symbol, now edible. The Kipferl was born, bready and solid, nothing like the layered pastry known today. The transformation happened in Paris. In 1838, an Austrian entrepreneur named Auguste Zang opened a Viennese bakery on Rue de Richelieu. Parisians lined up. French bakers copied his methods, and somewhere in that copying, someone began laminating the dough with butter, folding it repeatedly until it shattered into layers. The croissant replaced the Kipferl entirely. Austria invented the shape. France invented the pastry.
Pain au chocolat. In southwestern France, it is chocolatine. Everywhere else, it is pain au chocolat. The argument has been running for decades and never been resolved. Both sides claim linguistic purity. Both bakeries use the same laminated dough wrapped around identical bars of dark chocolate, baked until the layers separate. The only difference is the name, and the name, in this case, is everything. The debate occasionally surfaces in regional campaigns for protected status. Linguists treat it as a classic cultural divide. Neither side is likely to concede. The chocolate is never taken aside.
Mille-feuille. The name means 1,000 leaves. The actual count is closer to 729. Mille-feuille is built from puff pastry, dough folded with butter exactly 6 times. Each fold triples the layers. 6 folds produces 729 individual sheets of dough, separated by thin sheets of butter, stacked between pastry cream and icing. The structure is precise enough to be calculated, fragile enough to collapse under a fork. The pastry has existed in French cookbooks since the 17th century. For most of that time, it was considered a technical exercise, a demonstration of a baker's control over lamination, rather than a dessert worth ordering. It took until the 19th century for Parisian patisseries to standardize the form and put it on the menu permanently. The name is an exaggeration. The engineering is not.
Cannoli. The shell exists to solve a problem. The filling destroys it. Ricotta is mostly water. The moment it touches fried pastry dough, it begins to migrate through the shell, softening it, collapsing the crunch that defines the whole experience. Every cannoli is in a slow race against its own filling. Sicilian pastry makers solved this with 2 interventions. First, the dough is fried in lard, which forms a tighter, less absorbent crust that slows moisture migration. Second, the cannoli is never filled until the moment of serving. A pre-filled cannoli sitting in a display case for an hour is already lost. The shell takes 3 minutes to fry. It starts losing the battle immediately after.
Sfogliatella. The shape is not decorative, it is structural. Sfogliatella is built from dozens of paper-thin layers of dough, each coated in lard, rolled into a tight coil, sliced and pressed into molds. During baking, the layers separate and fan outward into the ridged shell that defines the pastry. Remove any layer and the architecture collapses. The technique originated in a convent on the Amalfi Coast in the 17th century. A nun reportedly found leftover semolina, added lard and wine to shape it into dough, and discovered the layering effect by accident. The recipe left the convent when a Neapolitan pastry chef named Pasquale Pintaro acquired it in 1818 and opened a shop on Via Toledo, where a version of that shop still stands today. The layers are counted in the dozens. The technique has not changed in 2 centuries.
Éclair. The word means lightning. Why the pastry earned the name is unclear, perhaps because it disappears in a flash, or because the glaze catches the light like one. Choux pastry relies on steam, not leavening agents, only butter, water, flour, and eggs cooked together until the starch gelatinizes. In the oven, the water in the dough turns to steam. The steam has nowhere to go. It inflates the shell from the inside, creating a hollow cavity before the outer crust sets. The éclair is not shaped into a hollow tube, it becomes one. The form was standardized by Marie-Antoine Carême in the early 19th century, the same chef who codified much of classical French cuisine. Before Carême, the pastry was known as pain à la duchesse, or petite duchesse, filled inconsistently, glazed differently in every kitchen. Carême codified the technique. The name arrived decades later.
Kouign-amann. Most classic pastries have no known inventor. This one does. In 1860, a baker named Yves-René Scordia ran out of enriched dough in his shop in Douarnenez, Brittany. He had bread dough, butter, and sugar. He folded the butter and sugar into the dough and baked it. In the oven, the sugar caramelized into a glass-like crust. The butter split the dough into distinct layers. The pastry had no name yet. Scordia called it Kouign-amann, Breton for butter cake. The recipe spread slowly. For over a century, it remained almost entirely unknown outside Brittany. It entered the international pastry vocabulary only in the 2000s when American and Japanese chefs began replicating it. One baker, one mistake, 160 years of slow travel.
Strudel. Austria claims it, Hungary claims it, the Czech Republic claims it. They are all correct. Strudel's architecture, paper-thin dough stretched until it is nearly transparent, wrapped around a filling, is directly descended from Ottoman borek and baklava techniques that spread through Central Europe during centuries of Habsburg-Ottoman conflict. The technique traveled north, the filling adapted to the climate. The earliest known written recipe for strudel dates to 1696, found in a Viennese cookbook held in the Vienna City Library. By the 19th century, it had become the defining pastry of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, present at every table from Vienna to Budapest to Prague, adapted to local ingredients in each city. The empire dissolved, the strudel did not recognize the new borders. Baklava. In the Greek tradition, baklava is made with exactly 33 layers of filo. The number is not arbitrary. It represents the 33 years of the life of Jesus Christ. The pastry itself predates Christianity in the region by centuries. Layered dough with honey and nuts existed in the ancient Near East long before the Ottoman Empire codified the recipe in the 15th century imperial kitchens of Topkapi Palace. Greece, Turkey, Lebanon, Armenia, and Azerbaijan all claim baklava as a national dish. In 2013, the European Union granted Turkey a protected designation for Gaziantep baklava, a decision Greece formally disputed. The layers are edible. The argument is not. Mooncake. In 1368, a revolution was allegedly organized through pastry. According to a widespread Chinese legend, rebels planning the overthrow of the Mongol Yuan dynasty hid messages inside mooncakes distributed during the Mid-Autumn Festival. The Mongols did not eat mooncakes. The messages moved freely. The uprising succeeded, and the Ming dynasty began. Historians debate whether the story is fact or folklore. What is documented is the pastry itself, a dense, precisely portioned cake with an elaborate molded crust filled with lotus seed paste or salted egg yolk, consumed once a year at the Mid-Autumn Festival. The molds used to shape mooncakes have been found in Chinese archaeological sites dating to the Song dynasty over 1,000 years ago. The revolution may be legend, the molds are not.
Cronut. It took Dominic Ansel several months to perfect it. It took the internet 3 days to make it famous. In May 2013, a French-born pastry chef in New York City began selling a croissant donut hybrid from his bakery on Spring Street. The Cronut, croissant dough fried like a donut, then filled, glazed, and rolled in sugar, was trademarked within weeks. By the end of the first month, people were lining up before dawn. Scalpers were reselling individual pastries for $40 each. Black market cronuts appeared in cities that had never heard of Dominic Ansel. The pastry set a precedent. Within a year, hybrid pastries, cruffins, duffins, and regional knockoffs had become a global category. Every major city had its own version. Most of them still exist. Ansel spent months building it. The industry it created has not stopped since.
Unique fact: in 1838, France went to war with Mexico over a pastry shop. The trigger is often traced to a French chef named Remontel, whose bakery outside Mexico City was looted by Mexican army officers in 1828. He asked the government for compensation. They ignored him for 10 years, so Remontel appealed directly to the King of France. King Louis Philippe listened. The French Navy blockaded every Mexican port on the Gulf Coast and bombarded the fortress of Veracruz. The conflict ended after British mediation, with Mexico paying 600,000 pesos in reparations for a claim valued at less than 1,000. One ransacked bakery started a war. The pastry inside it cost more than anyone intended.